headed to the polls this past Tuesday said the economy was top of mind, and one of the reasons, of course, that they were making their voices heard. So what type of effect can we see the elections have on Arizona's job outlook as we move forward?
Yeah, with us this morning is Michael Hayes, a hiring expert and owner of Momentum Specialized Staffing. Good morning. So, positive note?
Yes, I think it's going to be positive. I mean, we've been so bad that any positive note right now, there's some more rehiring going on. But again, my customers are a lot more selective than they ever were. I mean, they only want the best candidate.
What are the businesses that you work with saying now that elections are over? You said they're going to be more specific in choosing those employees. What kind of jobs are we looking at? Where? What fields?
I think the main area you're going to see any growth in initially is going to be on the lower end, your hourly wage positions.
Okay.
The warehousing, the driving, the logistics type businesses are generally the first that recover.
Okay.
As far as higher end positions, what I consider 50,000 and above, it's still very hard in that area to find employment.
Still slim pickings.
Correct.
So now how will somebody have the advantage over somebody else?
Well, I think a lot of it goes to your job history. Even a lot of people give the last 2 years a pass. People have had to switch jobs. But prior to that, they're going to look at stability. They're going to look at, your education. I mean, right now, we have people that are hiring, warehouse. You have to have a GED or high school.
Even just for warehouse.
Correct. And there's a lot of people that don't have it. So they get excluded. And I think even for clerical positions, sometimes people want at least a 2-year college degree. So being up on your education is going to be important.
We've been talking about the budget deficit here in Arizona reaching hundreds and hundreds of millions of dollars. With this new hope and maybe more jobs, is it going to help?
I don't know really. I mean, the government, generally the gridlock government of the national picture is usually good for business. If you look back through history, a split party governance. Here, I don't know where we're going to pick up that money because a lot of our growth depends on consumer spending.
Yes.
And the people that I've talked to, their spending habits have changed for a good long time. They're not just going to be out spending, free and clear all the time. They're going to be very cost conscious. So if we're looking for people to spend our way out of this, it's not going to happen.
It's not going to happen.
So this gridlock is actually good. Is that what you're thinking? Good to encourage more jobs, to encourage business owners to hire more people and
well, generally,
that way?
Well, generally gridlock works is that then you have to pass items that are more moderate rather than on the right or the left. So what you have is you don't have big government mandates that are easily to get through that may slow down job growth like health care, et cetera, because people sit back and go, how's that going to affect my bottom line? And that's going to make me decide how I'm going to take my business, whether I'm going to invest more or I'm just going to sit tight.
And it's like we were mentioning earlier with healthcare reform in several years, we're expecting to see a boom in the healthcare industry, more job openings there. But for people right now who are unemployed, what's your best advice if they're looking for a job out there? You're the hiring expert. We talked about how you can make yourself a little different, that education. Well, sometimes you can't change that. What other things would you suggest to folks?
Well, number one is don't take your baggage into the interviews, and I say this all the time. People come to interviews, they bring their baggage, their sob story, and everybody's got one. And even people that, in my business, we have them too. So that's not going to help you, and that takes the focus off of what you're doing.
Leave anything negative behind.
Correct. Paste a smile on your face. I don't care to listen to Disney radio. Whatever you need to do on the way in, do it. The other one is I tell people is just don't use the internet to look for jobs. Just send in resumes nonstop through these job sites. It's not a way to get a job. Your best job will come through somebody you know or somebody you've worked with in the past.
What are your thoughts? Yeah, what are your thoughts about actually physically showing up and meeting that owner or that the hiring manager or things like that right off the get-go? Or is that a little too aggressive?
Right now, it's really hard because they won't really see you. I mean, you have to have a back door.
You need that in.
So LinkedIn, those type of sites, even Facebook, Twitter, monitoring areas that might be hiring and looking people up and maybe sending them a message or finding somebody you know that says, hey, I'm familiar with that company. That's how you get the jobs. The people that I know, that are friends of mine that lost their jobs in high areas, got another high
Sure.
area paying job through an associate or a vendor.
You're going to trust somebody who knows somebody before you trust a stranger,
Right.
is what you're saying there. Michael, thank you so much. We appreciate
Thank
your
you for having me.
expertise,
Thank you.
advice, and hopefully we will see more jobs out there. Thank you so much.
Yeah.
Well, staying on the